to show you something that you can do very easy with some of our seasonings. It's a quick little way to just dress up your bread at mealtime, or if you're entertaining, having guests over, it's fun to do. Now, we're all familiar with making, dipping our bread in seasoned oil. So that's what you start with, a seasoned oil. This oil is an olive oil that I had previously infused with olive oil dipping blend. So it already has a little bit of that flavor. But I'm going to go ahead and prepare this. And now I will let it sit for a few minutes so that the herbs and the spices soften up and ready to eat when you dip your crusty bread in it. The next thing I want to show you is just a fun way to make a pull-apart bread. So you take your bread and you crisscross it with a serrated knife. Don't cut all the way through the bottom, okay? And so you do this all along the outside, all along the bread, in this direction first. You can do this with a round loaf of bread, and you can also do it with a square, rectangular loaf of bread. And while I am thinking about it, cutting this bread, I want you guys to be reminded that all of our seasonings are gluten-free, sugar-free, chemical-free, no MSG, so they go with any diet. Of course, the bread is another story. But keep that in mind because our seasonings are absolutely pure and delicious. And at the end of this, I know you're going to want some seasoning, so you will be able to click on the item that you want to purchase right on the Facebook page. Okay. All right. So I've cut it this way and I've cut it this way, so you have little pieces that will pull apart, right? We may all know about that, but just in case. Okay. So I have melted butter. You can melt an appropriate amount. Here I have started with a half of stick of butter. Now our olive oil dipping blend is one of our best sellers. But this one in particular has red pepper in it, so it's extremely spicy. But I do want everyone to know that you can order olive oil dipping blend mild off the website. It's all the same stuff, but it's without the red pepper. And that's for people like me that don't really want it spicy. So I have put the olive oil dipping blend in my butter, and I use a trusty clean paintbrush. So I'm going to go all inside these pieces. And I am going to get this oil and these seasonings all down in here. Because we have preheated the oven to 350, okay? So your oven is already nice and hot. Because we're going to add the oil, the seasoning, to the bread like this. And just because we're going to be eating this bread when we're done with this video, I am going to switch gears and make another blend on the opposite side. So this butter will have garlic and herb in it. It's delicious, and this makes a very pleasant garlicky cheesy bread. Same process applies. Just sprinkle it in. And you can let it sit if you want, if you get distracted or other things are going on. I'm going to use the exact same process. And if you don't want to use a brush, you can also use a spoon or whatever you have handy to put down in there. But you do want to get the herbs and the oil, or the herbs and the butter, in as many of those little crevices as you can. So another good seasoning, if you don't want Italian, you can use a French seasoning. You can use our herbes de Provence. And I would use brie cheese with the herbes de Provence because that would just be a delicious pull-apart bread as well. Okay? So now while I am doing this, I'm going to step over to the refrigerator and get out some Parmesan. So remember, all of these, the olive oil dipping blend and the herbs de Provence are also salt-free. Alright, so now I have some Parmesan. I like the shaved Parmesan, so that's what I usually have, but anything will work, or you can cut or shave your own. So I like the Parmesan on the olive oil dipping blend side. So I'm going to stuff the Parmesan cheese down in here where I have liberally put the, see, I have a little bit left, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour that down in there. Add the cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Parmesan on their garlic side too, because we like Parmesan. But you could use mozzarella. You could use provolone. I mentioned the brie earlier. That would also be delicious. So really just whatever kind of bread you like. Okay? So we have that. It's all ready. So now what we do is we just put it in our 350 degree oven. And then we'll leave it in there for about 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and show you what it looks like. So keep watching. Okay, so it's ready. It's been in the oven long enough. So it's warmed up. It's melted that Parmesan cheese. I'm going to take it off of here because this is hot. Put it on my cutting board. And now that's it. You have a delicious, cheesy bread that you just pull these pieces apart, or your guest pulls them apart, wherever you want to serve it, and you're good to go. This is just one little way that you can use our seasonings. Like I said, you can use the olive oil dipping blend, olive oil dipping blend mild, or the garlic and herb, or the herbs de Provence. So pick your favorite, and we'll get it to you right away. Thanks so much.